May 7th, 2024 was the National Prayer Breakfast in Ottawa, and we had two prominent political leaders that spoke at this prayer breakfast. First, Justin Trudeau, and second, Pierre Poilievre. The first clip I'm going to show you here is Justin Trudeau speaking at the prayer breakfast. Let's give him a listen.
But mostly, thank you all for gathering in faith, but also in optimism in these challenging times when we need to pull together, build a better world. It's been important to me to join you here since, as you said, back when Elizabeth May and I were the only party leaders regularly coming to this breakfast. It's a moment of thoughtful reflection and prayer for me. I don't talk an awful lot about my faith, as you all know, but my father raised me to read the Bible every week as a family, saying our prayers almost every night together. My faith grounds me in a way that is real but quiet for me, and it is always a nice moment to be able to share in this place of service that Ottawa is with others who are reflecting on the same sorts of things. This year's theme is Bridge Over Troubled Waters, and as all of you know, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. We see conflicts and division. Young people are worried about their future, whether it's due to the rising costs of living or the impacts of climate change. In the face of adversity, our Christian faith can serve as a strong bridge that carries us over the troubled waters of uncertainty. Our bridge through these challenging times must be paved with optimism and built with the resilience that comes from hard work. Personne ne peut construire un pont seul. Pour bâtir des ponts, il faut travailler ensemble. Et pour travailler ensemble, il faut être guidé par des valeurs communes. L'Évangile nous donne la direction nécessaire avec des valeurs comme l'amour, la compassion, le pardon et l'équité. L'équité, c'est la valeur fondamentale sur laquelle on base notre approche en tant que gouvernement, avec des investissements en santé, dans les garderies, des investissements pour créer des emplois et pour s'assurer que des enfants aient à manger à l'école. We're working hard to make sure everyone has a fair chance at success, knowing that when we elevate each other and support each other, it provides an opportunity for God's gifts to shine within each and every one of us. In our quest to navigate through these tumultuous times, the Beatitudes from Matthew serve as a moral compass, providing us with a path forward in good times as well as in challenging times. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. Then he began to speak and taught them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, so they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they are called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." The Gospel of the Lord. Merci tout le monde.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
I have to admit, I was quite shocked that his family had any Christian ideals in their bone. I'm shocked that Trudeau Sr. read the Bible to his kids on a weekly basis. I hope and pray that the Word of God would not come back void in the life of the Trudeaus. And I was actually quite shocked how positively he spoke about Christianity. This doesn't mean that I'm supporting Trudeau at all. Doesn't mean anything like that at all. But I'm just shocked that he spoke positively about Christianity and that he spoke positively about reading the Word of God. And here we have Pierre Poilievre in his talk, and it was a very good talk to speak to the political leaders in our country.
Now, you might be wondering why all the politicians are at the front, being recognized in name, and some might be confused into thinking that's because we're the most important. In reality, it's because we're the ones in the room most in need of redemption. Leadership does indeed require humility. As Proverbs said, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before the fall. And faith requires humility, especially from leaders. And faith requires humility in that it is a universally powerful concept that is bigger than any one of us. I think of the Grand Chief's mother, Loretta, reading the Lord's Prayer in an ancient language, Anishinaabe. Of course, first it was spoken in Aramaic by Jesus, and then it was translated into the scriptural classical Greek, and then it has been spoken in languages all around the world, but always with one universal message, bigger than any one language, any one people, and certainly any one person. For me, my faith intersects with my political values in one particular area, and that is the value of free will. God gave Adam free will. You can see this on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in the creation of Adam, where God's hand literally reaches out in an attempt to touch the hand of man, and behind it is what is the shape of a human brain. And inside that brain are a number of caricatures. And in that moment, God handed free will to man and said, now you are free to do as you wish. He will judge later on, but in the meantime, man is free to do good or evil. Man is free to decide for himself. And surely, if God can give free will to the people, we political leaders must give the same. We must have the humility to give up control. The word minister in the church is actually the same meaning, root meaning, as minister in politics. The root meaning of it is servant. Prime minister, therefore, is not first master, it is first servant. The people, of course, in a democratic system are the masters. They choose the commoners who grant and withdraw, hopefully withdraw at some point in the not-too-distant future, the confidence that allows the ministers to serve. And that service is always rendered with the people on top and the servants in leadership on the bottom. And then the relationship is between people and their God, free from any coercion. That principle requires us as leaders to have humility. And humility is what takes us over the troubled waters, because just as in politics one has to give up control, if one wants to be relieved of the anxiety and the tumultuous stresses of life, one again has to give up control and accept that God is in charge and that He will chart your path and the way will be made straight for you. And nowhere was this message more beautifully passed on during the life of Jesus than in Mark 4:35. Jesus calms a storm. It says, "On that day, when evening had come, he said to them, 'Let us go out across to the other side.' And leaving the crowd, they took him with them in the boat, just as he was. And other boats were with him. And a great windstorm arose, and the waves were breaking into the boat, so that the boat was already filling. But he was in the stern, asleep on the cushion. And they woke him and said to him, 'Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?' And he awoke and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, 'Peace, be still.' And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said to them, 'Why are you so afraid? Have you no faith?' And they were filled with great fear and said to one another, 'Who is this that even the wind and the sea obey him?' In other translations, it's the wind and the waves. The wind, the cause. The waves, the effect. God is able to calm the cause and the effect of the troubled waters in our lives. It reminds us, yes, it was not a new message. Those on the boat who would have been schooled in the earlier scriptures of the Psalms would have remembered when God said, before the time of Jesus, "Be still and know that I am God." This is now a refrain used in meditations all around the world. Be still and know that he is God. Be still, the winds and the waves, and calm the waters. Bring tranquility to each soul and peace to the world. God bless. Thank you.
Two things I really want to highlight. It is true, the political leaders need the redemption the most, in the sense of that they have a burden of carrying this country, and many decisions have been made in our country that are radically anti-Christian. And so they are leaders in our country, and many of them are very far from the Lord in their politics. Their politics, some of them are just downright ungodliness and wickedness. The other thing I wanted to highlight from this talk was Pierre's talk about the word minister. And he did take a shot at the Prime Minister. Prime Minister means first servant. And I think this is something that our civil servants have forgotten. They are there to serve the Canadian people. They're there to care for and look after the Canadian people. The Canadian people aren't there to serve them. They are there to serve the people. They're to be ministers. They're to be servants of the people of this country. And I have to say that many of our politicians have not done a good job at that at all. But I'm thankful this prayer breakfast has happened. I'm thankful for the songs that were sung. I'm thankful for the scriptures read. I was also shocked to know that Justin Trudeau hasn't missed a prayer breakfast in 11 years. That in itself was quite shocking. Anyways, God bless Canada. Thanks for watching, and God bless.